Again for Sports Orbit, with you from Leadership TV. My name is Afacho. Salifu Usman is on today's edition of the program with me. Salifu, welcome once again to Sports Orbit.
Thank you.
We'll begin straight from the 2023 AFCON draw, which is scheduled to take place in Cote d'Ivoire on Thursday. And as it is, Nigeria, South Africa, and Morocco could be placed in the same group when the Africa Cup of Nations draw is made. The 6 top seeds include Morocco, who created history at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar by becoming the first semi-finalist from Africa. Nigeria is among the second seeds, while South Africa has had to settle for a place among the third seeds for the draw. If you add Gambia from the fourth seed, it will be a striking group of death. Nigeria, 3-time winners of the competitions and former champions South Africa, were unlucky not to be seeded higher. The Super Eagles lie 6th in the continental rankings and ordinarily would have been a top seed, avoiding Morocco title holder Senegal, Tunisia, Algeria, and Egypt in the group stage. But as it stands, the group draws will be held on Thursday in Abidjan, and from the way it's looking, Nigeria might just be in a group of death alongside South Africa, Morocco, and possibly Gambia. And if that happens, that will really be a difficult one to predict who you can really put your money on that will come out of that group.
Well, it's still a speculation. It's still an assumption that may happen. But to me, if you are prepared to go for a war, you should be ready to face anybody. And I don't think Nigerians will begin to exercise or have any fear or begin to panic that yes, we will be placed in the top group. House Straw, we are also a top team in Africa, in African football, not just in Africa, in the world, in the whole world. In terms of football, we have made our impact in the game of football. There's no any way mention Nigeria around the globe that people don't know about our pedigree in the game of football, even though we may not have achieved what we are supposed to achieve at the global stage. But when it comes to football, there's no any country that will come to play Nigeria that will not reckon with Nigeria. In as much as before now, I don't even think if you're going to face Morocco, Super Eagles, well, it is just a pushover that we can easily run over Morocco or run over South Africa. What the round of that game have changed. As the game is known, is dynamic in nation, and it has changed. And most importantly, at the moment, if you are talking by my own view and by my own statistic, if you are talking of if you have to fear any team in the continent of Africa at the moment, it's with Morocco.
Sure.
Morocco has proved that they are the best team in Africa at the moment. Not just in Africa, by the latest FIFA World Cup, by the standard of the last World Cup, they are the 4th best team in the whole world. Finishing 4th in the whole world is not a big achievement. No African team has get to that level. So for them to achieve that level, they are the best team at the moment when it comes to African football. And but sometimes football is not played as that. Even though you are the best in the world, it doesn't guarantee you a passage. It doesn't guarantee the passage to the next level. We saw it what happened at the last World Cup. Argentina come from nowhere. Surprisingly, they were beaten by Saudi Arabia. So me, I don't have any fear, and I'm not panic about the issue. But for me, Nigeria should wait till what happened on Thursday, and whatever happen on Thursday, we should take it in good faith. But what matters is that, also, for you to be a champion, you need to fight everybody, and you must face all the top team.
All right, to some chess now, where the duo of Bomo Kigia and Deborah Quickpen have emerged champions of Nigerian Chess Championships for 2023. Kigiga, who is a veteran of many international tournaments, including the World Chess Olympiad, dominated the rest of the pack in the invitational section with 7.5 points. The victory was the 4th win on the trot for the Biostat-born chess master, who is ranked among the legends of the game in the country. Then in the ladies section, Quickpen Deborah, a product of the National Youth Games, also emerged as the best in this section. And it's quite instructive to note that Deborah is just 11 years old star, and she has become the youngest player to win the category as she bettered the record set over 2 decades ago by Oluwatobi Olatunji. As a result of her emergence, she will now represent Nigeria at next year's African Championship at a venue yet to be decided by African Chess Federation. Well, congratulations to Chigiha and Quickpen, especially for the young lady, just 11 years old, and already she has proven that when it comes to the game of chess, especially on the female side, she is a master. And I can tell you, this is a game I've tried my hands on several times, but until today I still can't find my way around it. But for an 11-year-old to dominate in this competition is really impressive.
Yeah, just like they say talent is born. When you are born with the skill. And even me, I don't even understand how an 11-year-old will sit down before the board and be able to do all the calculations to get it right. Just like even me, I've tried several times. Up till now, I don't even know the pattern up to today. Despite I will try to follow it, but for 11 years, she had decided. Well, it's a game that you have to be calculating with your mind and with your intelligence, with your mind, everything. And we normally say that if you are not yet an adult, you can take a decision. But for a young girl to be able to sit down before the board and take a right decision and to click the board and get it the score is quite amazing. And congratulations to her. And we urge the Chess Federation of Nigeria not to just see her as a national champion, but there's a high prospect on her, and we need to build on this to ensure that she gets the next level and probably represent Nigeria at the world level.
Exactly.
So to me, it's a future star, and it's a high prospect for Nigeria to build on this level. It has age on our side. So the current the current leadership of the Chess Federation, led by the former retired AIG Sani Mohammed, should ensure that this girl is given all the necessary support and to move to the next level.
Very important as a result, because she will even be representing Nigeria at the African Chess Championship, so it will be necessary for her to be giving all the support. Now to some other matters. Now this is this time for skating. The Nigerian Skating Federation is gearing up to host its first national championship in Abuja, which is expected to draw the participation of over 2,000 youths from across the country. The championship, named Abuja 2023, is scheduled to take place from November 30th to December 3rd within the MK Abiola National Stadium complex. According to President of the Federation, Major General Abdullahi Mekano, he said the event has already garnered interest from over 20 states and the FCT, each registering for various categories of the championship. The highlight of the event is the 42.5 kilometer skating marathon, which will commence from Airport Road to the City Gate. Well, I think this is quite interesting because over the years, you agree with me that skating has really grown in leaps and bounds, but for
across the country,
everywhere. But for them to now decide that, okay, let's make it in a competition, a tournament format, I think is good thinking from the Skating Federation.
And that is a good one. I'm just know that we have a skating federation.
Yeah, there is.
But one thing I want to add is that we should maybe the sport ministries need to do something about this because these confusions of name. We have a skating federation that they are bearing in the acronym NSF. We have Nigeria's Scrabble Federation. Also have NSF. We have Nigeria's Football Federation. Also NSF. So the Minister of Youth and Sport needs to do something about this to avoid this clash of names. So that the acronym should be clear spelled out, and some of them can switch. If you call NSF by abbreviations, somebody can read either in a Scrabble or shooting federation. So there should be a clear identification by this question. But for that aside, congratulations to this federation. It's quite instructive and quite impressive that they are beginning to harness the talents of the young guy, of the young kids and young lads. All the cream, anywhere you move it in Abuja, you see them moving around on the road and everywhere. So putting them instead of just using them, why not bring them together and then to harness their talent? But to me, it's congratulations. I commend this move, and it's a good one.
Of course, the age limit for the event has been set at least 17 years above, with categories for children to showcase their skating skills at the championship. Well, like you said, a really good one, because to be able to put it in a tournament, I'm sure a lot of young kids who do this just for fun.
Of course, yes.
We'll look forward to it.
Yeah,
exactly. That okay, now there's a tournament, a competition
where for fun. Yes, you can be the career on it.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. All right. Let's move to some other football matters now. Some news from the Lobby Stars, where the club has named Ogim Agagbe as the new chief coach. The club also appointed a new team manager and welfare manager, according to the vice chairman of Lobby Stars, Dominic Yofa. He said Agagbe is bringing to the job a wealth of experience that is expected to take Lobby Stars back to the summit of the NPFL. He insisted that the changes had become inevitable following the vacuum created after coach Abubakar Bala left. He also added that Agagbe has had a stint with the club in the past and is prepared to give his best to the club. Of course, according to him, when he was asked why some members of management were changed, he alleged that some of them were involved in anti-club activities. Well, we hear of anti-party activities, but we are now hearing anti-club activities.
What? So, what? Congratulations to the new coach. Somebody has getting a job has to congratulate him.
Yeah, sure.
Expected of him that just like the Dominic Ayofa say, he bring his wealth of experience to be on the club, and we hope that will actually justifies his employment and rather bring his knowledge of experience over the years to be on the club. But one thing I wanted to add is that Lobby Star, just like Ayofa say, a whole lot of people were changed just for at the club activities. Well, I'm also being surprised that it's like Lobby Star Dominic Ayofa has also survived a whole lot of storms.
Of course.
There was a high move that after the change of the government that he may lose his job. That the new governor will definitely have to sack him and reposition the club. The social media was awash with it. And but one thing is that Lobby Star keep on changing coaches. If you remember that within less than 2 years less than 2 years. Yes, less than 2 years that Yofa was brought back. They have changed coach almost to the third coach that is coming now. And there's this alleged that Dominic always interferes in the selections of the players, interferes in the coaching. And Dominic also see himself as coach. So if you feel that he can be the coach, but you should not take coach of the team. Exactly. You can't have a coach and you don't allow the coach to do his job. Nobody will, yes, not as much as you are trying to, you are part of the team, you need to contribute to the team and allow the team to grow. But allow your job is administrative one. Allow the technical department to do their job on interference.
All right, we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, Sport Orbit continues. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back from that break. It's still Sports Orbit. Down to some IOC news where for the Los Angeles Olympics in 2028, the IOC is to vote on adding new sports for the Olympic. Of course, these sports are relevant, innovative, and community-based, played in backyards, schoolyards, community centers, stadiums, and parks across the U.S. and the globe. According to the chairperson, Casey Wasserman, he said they will bring new athletes to the games, engage diverse fan bases, and expand the game's presence in digital spaces. Of course, some of the games they are looking at include cricket, which was only played in the Olympics once in 1900, is one of the most popular sports in the world. And of course, they also talked about baseball and softball, who have had a checkered history at the Olympic, but their plans to reintroduce it. The former was first contested for medals in the 1992 games in Barcelona, also in 1996, but both sports were removed for the program for 2012, 2016, added back for 2020, and then removed again for 2024. Others include flag football and squash, which will be included in the Olympics for the first time. Well, so a new addition of games here. Then some games have been there, but of course, since it will be hosted in America, I'm sure games like softball, baseball are their traditional games. So
for sure,
I'm sure they want a situation where at least these are traditional sports will make a showing at the Olympics.
Yeah, of course, that's an advantage of hosting the game. When you're hosting the game, you have an advantage to also introduce your own local sport.
Yeah.
Maybe since the window is open now, since the window is open now, why not Nigeria put into it? It also include para soccer. But they don't know that they also both have para soccer.
Let's succeed in hosting another AFCON first before the World Cup. I'm talking of Olympics.
Well, obviously, when we are hosting the game, we have an advantage to host for them, because you have to see your strength and just like say, but if you look at most of the sports you mentioned are also popular sports that
exactly.
Olympic, for instance, squash is spread across all over the world, so there's no any need for meeting the squash game from the Olympics. It's supposed to be an Olympic event. As let's have like cricket. It's a global game. It used to be a game for the Indians and also Pakistan, but now it's not a global game. So such a game can't be excluded from Olympics. If you are playing football, why not play cricket?
Exactly.
So most of those sports, obviously, there's no. I think even though on the outside of this country, on the side of the world, may not have the medal strength to go and compete for a cricket at the Olympic, but it is good that just game, inclusion of just game, will go a long way in expanding, go a long way in promoting the game across the world. And there's a need for it, obviously.
All right, some other news now where Saudi Arabia has announced it took the second step to bid for the 2034 World Cup by submitting a letter of intent to host the event to the World Soccer Governing Body FIFA. That was yesterday. A statement by the president of the Saudi Arabian Football Federation said, last week we announced our ambitions to host the 2034 FIFA World Cup, and this official submission continues our journey to make the dreams of our people a reality. We are extremely committed to presenting the most competitive bid possible that will also help unite the world through football. Of course, 2034, I mean, like over the weekend, just watching a sports program while some sports analysts went, criticizing the failed Nigeria bid, said, look, you don't just wake up from nowhere and say you are bidding for a tournament. We are talking about 2034. This is 2023. Saudi are already bidding. This is how bids are done. You don't wake up from nowhere. A competition is 2 years' time, and you wake up, go to attend one meeting somewhere with all the jamboree to say you are going to make a case for your bid. And of course, for some of us, for the Nigeria own, it wasn't a surprise that the bid fell flat. And it was something that when Nigeria all of a sudden woke up from nowhere that want to co-host with Benin, I knew it wasn't going to be a success. Bids are not done like that. Where is the infrastructure on ground? As advanced as Saudi is, I can tell that in this 2034, you need a long-term plan, because they will still need to upgrade facilities, maybe possibly build new ones and new infrastructure to accommodate it.
And to add to what you are saying, say that you don't just wake up one day and say you have a dream in the night.
Exactly.
You have a dream and you want to actualize the dream you have in the night. That is the Nigerian state. And even the idea of the Nigerian, that idea was first promoted by Amaju Pinnick at an event that since again there has been strip of the hosting like that. Why not? We are going to host it. But just like even before, I can tell you confidently that Saudi don't just wake up and say they want to host it. Even before coming to this public domain that they announcing their interest to host it, there have been a plan. And even across the whole world can testify that Saudi has been preparing ground for this. Because if you see their development of football, everything they are trying to develop to show that we are a football nation. Before now, Saudi is only known for Islamic, for religion activity. But over in the last decade, they are beginning to show their expansion in all nooks and crannies, in all sport, and the football in particular. And since the current Saudi is being run, is being governed by a crown prince. That the father is still alive. The father who is the queen is still alive, but he's incapacitated. So he decided to bring his son as a crown prince, who is not a king, but he's just as a crown prince. And since being a young guy, that guy has introduced a whole lot of innovation to Saudi Arabia. Before now, you don't see this. They are female outside.
But now they don't have a female league.
But now they have a female outside. The female before they are female, their female, their women are not allowed to walk. But now they are walking. So they see them everywhere. So it's an innovation. They don't allow them to bring. Now they see a female Saudi driving, and they you see the expansion, the investment that is going in. Before now, they only know for religion and oil money. Now they are open many windows, many opportunities for them to be developed. And I can bet you, nobody except God said no. Nobody will challenge Saudi Arabia for this to come
completely.
The way they have started,
they have the resources, they have the infrastructure, everything.
And with the achievement of Qatar 2020, it's an eye opener that Saudi. It's an eye opener for the Saudi Arabian and even for the world. That yes, giving the Saudi Arabia, they will hold it better than what the Qatar did. So I don't think anybody will challenge them for this 2020, except God say it is not your time to host it.
All right, to our final story before we leave. Of course, today, Eden Hazard announced his retirement from football, not just at international level, but both from club and international level. And Eden Hazard is just 32 years old. And sometimes, these footballers out there, they start so early that sometimes you hear their ages and it's like they've been playing football forever. I mean, just at 32, when some players are still commanding heavy transfer fees from one club to the other, but for him, he feels. I mean,
even at 32, that is where he moved ahead. Some of them have
exactly. But for him, he feels, well, I've had enough of it, and it's time to focus on other things.
Well, but obviously, in as much I'm not speaking for him. I'm not his mind. But I think this is one of the better decisions he has taken in his life. Obviously, it is since he announced this early this morning, the whole social media, everyone was awash with this, with a whole lot of shock. Yes, a whole lot of. If you follow us that in the last 2 years, you know that obviously he's heading to a retirement point. But a whole lot of most of his fans are not taking this in good faith because it is not obviously a lot of us who follow Hazard when he was sensitive believe that these guys still have a lot to offer. But unfortunately, this is where destiny has landed him. His move from Chelsea, I'm not saying it's a wrong decision, but his move from Chelsea was the architect of all those things. Because when if you follow, since there is an announcement this morning, follow the social media, a whole lot of people were criticizing Real Madrid for being responsible for his early exit from the round that game.
How? If you ask me.
Well, if you ask me, we are those are almost
because sometimes
the injury came, but they felt that the way they treated him by the injury, that he was not giving all the needed attention that he needed to be given for a player to recover.
So was that the responsibility for his loss of form, even for country? So sometimes players move from one club to the other and it goes downhill. Some move from one club to the other and their career peaks. So for Hazard, I think it's beyond maybe injury or Madrid. Sometimes, maybe sometimes you go to a club and you feel you've gotten to your peak, and maybe how you train and all of that. Look at even for instance the situation with Sancho at United. Since Sancho came to United, Sancho is no longer the Sancho we all knew at Dortmund. He became a complete shadow of himself, leading to his being free. It got to a point that the coach said, look, even in training, he was not even doing well in training. That's why he had to be dropped. You now look at a situation of a Jude Bellingham, who went from Borussia Dortmund to Madrid. In fact, yesterday watching a program on Madrid, they said the hierarchy at Madrid were thinking that maybe Bellingham will come good in the next 2-3 years. They never expected that the guy will hit the ground running
immediately. Yes.
And you can see the huge amount of money Madrid has paid. It's like in the last 10 matches, they recovered that money already. Selling the most jerseys, scoring almost in each and every match. I mean, against Napoli, we all saw that wonder goal. He scored almost a Maradona kind of goal. So sometimes players move from here to there, they make it, and sometimes some move. But for Hazard, really, I can't explain what happened to him.
Yes, I agree with you to some extent. And if you look at it, just like example, you the scenario you painted, there are many of it.
Yeah.
You can go on and on. Several players. It happened even Torres. When Torres
even the likes of Shevchenko.
When he came to Chelsea, Shevchenko was
AC Milan like the hottest striker on the
even
planet.
Torres from Liverpool to Chelsea. It's also like there are many examples of it. But a lot of people find out say that Madrid never gave him that opportunity. Yes, when he came to Madrid, at the time he left Chelsea, just like I said earlier, I say to me, I feel I wouldn't say it's a wrong decision. He has his mind to take that decision. He know what is with him, what was for him at that time. But for us who I'm not the Chelsea fan, but for also follow him, who admire him because of who he is, feel that he left Chelsea at the wrong time. Because he was a king at that time in Chelsea.
Exactly.
At the time he left Chelsea, there was no any player in Chelsea that is bigger than him. He was the biggest player in Chelsea at that time. But at the time he left to Madrid, but a whole lot of people expected him to replicate that same form at Madrid. But just like I say, he dropped in form and injury came in. But when the injury came in, at the same time, I'm saying that sometimes a player may not be informed, but it takes a coach to also need to encourage us to play and get the player that from. Maybe some of people who may have experienced to some inflation, maybe they feel that sort of opportunity was not given to him at Chelsea. But to call the whole matter sure that the round leather game have missed Hazard and they are going to miss him. But honestly, some of us, I'm never a fan of Chelsea where he plays. I'm never a fan of Real Madrid. But Hazard as a person is somebody that you cannot ignore where he uses the ball. He's a very skillful footballer, balance with the football, and give you everything you have to admire when he hold the ball. But honestly, well, we wish him well on his future
exactly on his future endeavor. All right, we call it a wrap on today's edition of the program. Tomorrow we'll be back with our midweek edition of the show. Do join us once again. Salifu, thank you for being in the studio once again.
Thank you.
All right, until we come your way tomorrow, do have a wonderful time. My name is Afa Acho, and it's bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.